All right, folks. Back in the lab, back in the studio. Captain's Law Podcast. Another episode. Get ready to drop some hot fire. Got my two men with me. Yuri Simmons. What's happening? Clarence James.
What's happening?
So what's the topic today, man? Stocks, stock market, stock exchange, all that good shit. I don't know shit about the stock. You know what I'm saying? Yuri only know a little bit, and apparently CJ knows everything. So
Everything.
So he's gonna do it. He gonna do it.
Blast.
He's gonna do his best to break it down, shotgun style, dummy style, without giving up all the secrets. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, Clarence James, what's happening?
Cool, man.
What
Thank
is
you for
what
that.
is stock? First of all,
Good question.
Um
give us a little
Ownership.
history. Give us a history lesson.
ownership, right? Like they tell you, the American dream is to buy a house and own some land or something like that, right? Own land, yeah, cool, but stock is actually ownership in a company. So let's just say me and you, we start a company together and we want to be partners, 50-50 partners. You take 50%, I take 50%. That's just it. It's just and stocks can actually be divided into different units, right? And that would be the actual stocks and or shares. Those terms are used interchangeably.
So instead of
So
owning 50% of the company, you own 1 millionth of the company.
exactly. Yep.
Okay.
But ownership is ownership because you own
Absolutely.
their profits. You own that is owned by the owners of that company.
So their gains are your gains.
Okay.
Exactly.
So tell me how you got into it.
Um, it was pretty interesting how I got into it. My mom started me out with a interest, a nice savings account that was higher interest bearing than the normal accounts that you would get from like a Wells Fargo or something like that. It was with a company called AIG. And that's kind of all they did was had these savings accounts for you that just gave you a little bit more interest on the year than your traditional you know bank branches that you would see on the store, right? The big brands. Um, when I started exploring and playing around with that account, I noticed that I had an option of a brokerage account. Like, what the hell is brokerage,
What is
right? Like,
brokerage? The fuck?
right? The word broke in it was like, well, why the hell would a bank have a term broke something in it or whatever, right? So I just started playing around and learned what it was. And I didn't do anything with it right away at all. But I was like, oh, okay, well, this looks like you can buy stocks.
So how'd you
And I
dive into it?
Yeah.
What made you
diving
dive in?
what made me dive into it was I actually started doing some research on this, and I lined up the dates. So Tesla Motors was my very first investment on their very first day of trading on the stock market.
What
On
year
the
was
Wow.
stock
that?
market, and that was June 29th, 2010. What
An
happened?
original.
What happened was my girl actually got pregnant back in May, and she told me like late May or so, and I was just holy shit. I need to find a way to make money now because I was just getting out of ECPI, little technical college 2-year deal, right? And I had no job.
Yeah.
I was broke as I don't know what. And here I am about to have a baby. And so I was just like looking every way possible to, what can I do? And I remembered the brokerage account. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then I remembered learning about Tesla Motors and some of the research that I had done, conspiracy theory research around the name Tesla, which led me to learn about Tesla Motors and Elon Musk. And I just felt like batteries were the way. I knew that this dude had something and people were going to jump on it. So I threw what I had at it, man. That was ramen noodle days. So I put like, 150, $200 or something like that, whatever I I felt like I could afford, but I couldn't. And just left it.
So how many
that ain't no
years?
little money. Shit.
Yeah.
Facts. That's facts. When you can lose it, it's definitely not a little
Exactly.
bit of
You know what
money.
I could do with $200? Pay this
J's,
pay
Hey,
maybe. I don't know.
pay this light bill. What the hell?
Super facts.
All right,
that
Yuri.
is true.
So I guess my start, you hear about it all your life, or not all your life, but you hear about it. You see the people trading and what have you. But I think that I guess the best genesis portion for me will be a client of mine had been trading, a young fella, and his uncle, he meets with his uncle almost every few days, and they go over plays and what have you. And he had been talking to me about stocks, and I guess I had gotten enough conviction to download Webull again. Another client had been telling me all the money that he was making, and I had got enough gumption to download Webull again. And I'm not promoting that, by the way, but I had downloaded Webull.
Weebo might be all right,
I
man.
it might be. It might. I mean, it's been okay, I guess, for me. But
Drop that affiliate link.
super facts. But so he had gave me a couple plays. I think he had dropped Blink on me. The my client who meets with his uncle regularly, he had dropped a couple plays on me, Blink, and I had seen some folks talking about DraftKings online. I'm heavy into football, sports kind of, and so I was like, you know what, I might give this thing a shot. And I put some money in, and I had been checking and I guess trying to do my due diligence and researching the companies, not really knowing what I'm looking for, but trying to build up, I guess, the conviction, as they called it, to make certain plays. And I just hopped out there and threw some out to eat money in a couple of stocks. And I had been checking and checking and checking and checking. And after a few months, my client had said, so what, how much money are you up? Or, are you down? He came back to check on me. And I hadn't checked in a while because I had grown weary in the search or I guess weary in the in well doing, so to speak. And I went back to check, and I was up a few $100s in my stocks, and I was like, oh snap! Percentage wise, I was way up, but I bought just a few dollars, and so from there I started to take a class on options, but that's where I'm at currently. As I'm in my class on options, I won't drop their link because they ain't paying me yet, and I don't even know if it works, if the class works yet, but we're gonna find out real soon here. That's my start.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna just drop mine. Mine ain't nearly as in depth as either one of y'all's. So for me, I always heard about stocks, but that was definitely something that was never a conversation in my household coming up.
Right.
Shame on us all. I mean, because it seemed like we all finding out about 20 years too late, compared to the rest of the people in the game. But what kind of drew me to it was, well, I won't say drew me to it, but I was kind of like back and forth because at the end of the day, it's gambling. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a good gambler. You know what I'm saying? I remember when they opened the Maryland Live down there at Arundel Mills Mall, and I was like, it's a casino. It's down the street. Let me go check it out. So I probably went up there like 3 times, and this was when they first opened it, and all the machines, like everything was electronic. There was like the blackjack, the roulette, poker, all everything.
Every handle.
Well, no, when you doing like 21 blackjack, you press the button.
Okay.
Like there was nobody to give you the cards. So I'm just in there losing $50, $60, $60, $70 there. I think I lost like $20 when I first got there. I was like, this ain't for me. I'm done. And then we went to Vegas for a wedding, and I had lost $200 in person. Like, let me get that off you. You know what I'm saying? And like 3 hands of blackjack. I was like, the wife was like, hey, get your ass up. We done. You know what I'm saying? She's like, this our fun money. You out here, we about to be eating ramen noodles in Vegas. You know what I mean? So time goes by, I'm not paying enough of no attention, you know what I'm saying? And then I see this whole GameStop, AMC, Dogecoin thing, and I see Facebook going crazy, Twitter going crazy, Instagram going crazy. People that I didn't even know that was in stocks was making stock posts. Like, I'm like,
speak on that for a second.
I'm like, when y'all niggas get into stock? You know what I'm saying? Well, why was I not hipped? People that I know closely. My man hit me, he was like, bruh, You need to go ahead and get on that Robin Hood, man. I'm telling you, the joint going crazy. And I'm like, oh, yeah, when you get on Robin? He's like, man, I've been in this joint a couple months. I'm like, you out here coming up on money for months and you ain't tell me? What's that about? You know what I'm saying? So then the next day, this whole Robin Hood freezing the money. People can't get their money. The joint and surge. People trying to cash out. They won't let them cash out. Then all of a sudden, I'm seeing posts like, man, F Robin Hood, man. I'm about to shut this account down. I was like, let me just push back from the table. I was getting ready to ask for a plate, you know what I'm saying? Extra gravy. I was like, I don't think I need this, you know what I'm saying? But then talked to CJ like that. I think it was the next day or 2 days after I talked to CJ. He actually broke it down to me. Not saying that the people before him didn't kind of tell me, but they were just like, man, you can get some money, man. Do this. I'm like, yeah, I need to know a little bit more than we can just get some money. Like, I need to know, like, what do I need to do? And even after CJ pretty much broke it down to me, like, pretty much as far as you can break it, there was still stuff that I figured out on the fly. I'll get into that. But so me, I'm putting $1 here, $2 here, $3 here. I'll take 3 shares of this 50 cent. Bro, I'm not putting all that money in there right now, dog. I'm like, look, I need to wake up. I got about, I think, 6 stocks right now. The least expensive is like $1.95. The highest is like $15. Until I wake up in the morning, one of them joints is about $100. I'm not putting no more than that on there. I will legitimately have 50 little ass stocks out here before I go and put $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 in one joint. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it. Not yet. You know what I'm saying? So that's my story.
It takes time.
But
it takes time, man.
It do take a lot of time, man. So my thing is, so let's get into the research. Like, what's some of your tactics you use to kind of stay ahead of the game? Because I know you said you in a group class or something like that. That's their specialty.
Well, I'm taking a class right now where they teach all kinds of things, but my class is focused on options. I signed up for the options class. They have a swing trading class and futures class and all of that, but I signed up for the options class. At the moment, I'm not the biggest fan of it because I don't like to have to email questions. I want to be able to real time discuss things with you because I'm a question asker.
What do you mean by options?
Okay, I'm gonna let Clarence James more so break it down, but basically an option is the buying of a contract that this stock is either going to go up a certain amount of money or go down a certain amount of money in a set period of time. And so that's what an option is. And in the class, they teach you how to do, I guess, technical analysis, reading charts and seeing trends, and your I don't remember what it's called at the moment. That's sad. But basically, like your breaking points. It's another term for it that I'm not using correctly, but that's what an option is. It's a contract to say I'm betting, like gambling. I would say that's closer to the gambling aspect of it than actual buying of shares in swing trading.
So it's kind of so let me get this straight. So it's kind of like, say, like they got this sports betting thing down here now. It's supposed to be huge. So what people do is they go down to Capital One Arena and they stand in line and they go and say, hey, the Washington football team is going to beat this team by X amount of points, type deal. Something like that.
It's something like that. The difference between this and that is, to me, the biggest difference is the house is a little different, and the most important part that's different is once you put your money up when you're gambling, if you lose all the money that you put up. And with options, it does not have to work that way. You can kind of set your limit with what you lose. And so it works a little different. CJ can break it down a lot further than I can. But you don't have to lose. Like, let's say I put $100 up. I don't have to lose all $100. And when you do that, when you bet on the Washington football team, when you put your 100 up, if you don't win, your 100 is gone.
Yeah.
And so, it's a little different, and it's I don't want to say safer, but it seems a little safer than that. But I'll let Clarence James explain in further detail.
I mean, I'll just add a little bit to that with options. it gives you leverage. So instead of like you asked what is stocks, and I said it's ownership, right? You own a part of the company. Well, options, you're not buying those stocks, right? You're you're buying the right to buy 100 stocks, 100 shares of that stock at a given price, right? That price is, either betting is going up or betting is going down, right? Something like that.
Give us a quick scenario.
Uh, like today I bought an option for one of these joints that's tied to Bitcoin. Tonight, as a matter of fact, I bought it, and I'm betting that this thing is going to continue to ride up. So what I'm doing is I bought one contract, and that contract represents 100 shares at a given price. I think the price is, by the time I bought it, it was like $81 a share. And I was betting that this thing is going to go up to $83 a share. So I bought that $83 strike price option, right? That call option.
Keyword
And
strike.
yeah, the strike price is just like your target, right? It's the target that you're trying to get to. So it's at 81 now, and I want to get it. I want it to be at 83. This is my strike price, right? And so in between here and here is where I make my money, right? And then from here up, like above the 83, oh man, it, it's wonders. The only thing with options is it's leverage. So you're dealing with not just one stock, you're dealing with 100 of them. And it's just a representation of them. So yeah, you can make 100% on your money really fast, but you can also lose 100% of your money really
So
fast.
give me the breakdown on give us the breakdown on how the losing of that money goes. You said you have the right to buy 100 shares at 80 beans. So 80, 100, that's 8K, Clarence James. So you could be in for $8,000.
No, not really, because that's where we'd have to go really deep into that.
Okay.
That's where the price of the option comes in. So you're not paying that 8K. You're not paying that price. It can get up
Can you
to
be
price.
in that much? Can you basically lose that much money or be on the hook for that $8,000?
Yeah, absolutely. But it depends on the option that you pick.
So how much time you got to do all this though? What's the time period though?
Good question.
So what clarify your question?
Well, I'm saying you telling me that, correct me if I'm wrong, 100 shares, $80 and some change, and you trying to get it to, I guess, $2 higher. How much time do you have for that to happen? Or is that just got to be like tomorrow?
You choose that. It's basically every Friday. And some stocks will do it like every other Friday.
You can do minutes though, can't you? You can do it as small of a time as minutes, like it'll go up over, or you can do it as far out as years. It's in terms of your contract for the time frame that Robert is talking about.
So what I'm answering the question to is an expiration price.
He couldn't help himself.
The expiration date. I'm talking about the expiration date. So with an option, I'm saying the one that I was just talking about, right? I'm saying this joint is at 81. I wanted to go to 83, and I chose the date of February 19th, which is this Friday, right? And then the next date that is available is February 26th. And then the next one would be the Friday after that, the Friday after that. Some of those, so it's not broken down to the minute, but you can trade them whenever you want. You don't have to wait until that day to sell it or buy it or whatever it is you're doing, right? You don't have to wait until that day. That's just how long you give yourself. So for instance, I bought another joint that's all the way out to January 2023.
So let me ask you this. I'm gonna cut you short if that's okay, right?
Yeah.
So you said you bought one that's January 2023.
Yeah.
You there, Lee?
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay. So so let's say we're gonna use the same amount, right? You bought the 80, even though I know it's for a different stock. It's for a different company.
Yeah.
You buy the 81 and you want it to go up to $83 by January of 2023. At any given point, if it goes up past that, you are allowed to terminate your contract and take all of your money.
Yeah, yeah, and
So
all
if
of
it
my
goes up
profit.
to
Yeah,
$89, and let's say it goes up to $100 at any time before that time period, you say, you know what, I need all that. Cut that
that's the
short, and you
point.
take all of that money.
That's the point. Now, so I'm just
How do
gonna
you set
be.
the boundaries for it going under? But go ahead.
So I'll just be honest with you. The stock that I'm talking about, or the company that I'm talking about, is Carnival. Carnival
Mhm.
Cruises. Carnival Cruises. I think they usually trade before Corona. They would trade at like $60 a share or something like that, right? I could be wrong, but whatever the normal price is,
A lot
they're
more
at
than it
like
is.
exactly they're at like $21, $20 a share right now, right? That's they're what is that, 66% below where they normally trade at. So we know that right now Carnival ain't doing nothing. It ain't moving. They not even
Right.
selling tickets and until boarding passes until March now, right? I think that actually just came out that they were gonna start that.
Mm.
So I'm betting that this joint goes up from $21 to like $23 by January 2023. So you see what I did? What I did was I only set it just a little higher than what it is now, because they're going to get back to where they were, and I can
It's probably gonna be
potentially
high as
make
hell.
exactly. I can
High
potentially.
Scooby Brown.
They may even there may be so much excitement that they go above where they were before.
Right.
So I kind of
This
just
is my
like
question.
put a no brainer out there. Now, this is nowhere near financial advice. I'm not telling you to go do what I did. I'm just using this as an
No one here
education
is giving
example.
financial
So
advice.
just
Hey,
just want to put that
I
out there.
smooth just put a note in my phone note. I'm not even gonna hold you. I put a note in the phone. Carnival. I'm looking it up. Don't worry. Hey, look, this not gonna be published till Monday. It'll be too late for him then.
Nah, it
Nice.
won't be. He'll be
Mm-mm.
good. So let's say Carnival shoots up in March to
Yeah.
$25, right?
Okay.
You keep did you buy the contract? And so basically what you're saying is when you go to make that purchase, are you automatically buying the potential of 100 shares? So like let's say uh I'm trying to figure. I apologize. I'm struggling with how to word it. So you buy a potential 100. So if let's say you bought that potential 100 shares, you're getting, if it goes up that $2, you're coming up $200 off the
that
Carnival.
that's so you can never you have to look at the Greeks, which is way that's a way deeper conversation
I
than
got you.
this, right?
Okay.
Okay.
The Greeks is it kind of, you can start to calculate what your profit will be, but that changes for each and every option. So it's hard to tell
Okay.
right now.
We'll back out. Well,
Okay.
we'll shelf it
All
and get
right. So
back to
yeah, so
stocks.
let's shelf that. I wanna move on to the next topic. So when I think of stocks, all right. Now, granted, I'm the greenest person in this conversation. When I think of stocks, I'm thinking trading places. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy in the joint. They got the papers. They in there. Sell, sell, sell. I'm thinking like that.
Aliens, baby.
But now, you know what I'm saying? 2021, we way more advanced out here. It's apps. You know what I'm saying? So all I know is I know Robinhood. I've heard of Webull, and I think you got some other ones. I don't want to say the
Yeah,
wrong names.
Ameritrade,
But
Fidelity, all of
talk
those.
about these apps, man. I mean, I don't know what you know or what you don't know, but like what ones do you like? What ones don't you like? Which ones don't you know shit about?
I love TD Ameritrade. I love Robinhood. I know there's a love hate relationship there. Um, Webull, Webull is another one, and Fidelity. Those are my favorites. Um, Robinhood, because it's so user friendly, right? Like they give you a lot of information. They don't. They give you enough information to kind of feel comfortable. in doing what you're doing.
I feel like they do. They be having them little clips on the joint, like that little section where they'll say, Twitter took a dive today, or Elon Musk said something about Dogecoin and now it's at a record rate or something. I feel like they definitely, for someone like me who doesn't know exactly what's going on, those little clips right there, if I just was a tad bit greener, you know what I'm saying, maybe a little light greener, I would be like, ooh, another video. Let me get into this. I feel like that's what that's there for, to get folks who don't know what to put their money on to put it on what's trending, I guess.
Yeah, all the apps should be doing that. Every one of them that I just said, they give you like a news feed as well, right?
Okay.
Google does it. They all kind of do it when you click in a specific stock. Just say damn. GameStop is the one that's in my face, but I don't mess with GameStop as well in any way, shape, or form. But looking at that one, if you go to the page for that one, it'll actually show you news about GameStop, right?
Yeah.
Like what's going on there, and you can kind of read up and get caught up on what's going on with the business. But now that's what they give you. That's what they give you, right? Never be satisfied with what they give you. Always go and verify the information somewhere else. Go Google whatever you read about on what Robinhood gave you or what
Since you
Fidelity
said Google,
gave you. Yeah.
Since you said go Google, what are some places that you have that you consistently check that seems to be relatively valuable in their information?
A reputable
solid.
source.
Right.
Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance is really cool.
Yahoo?
Yeah, Yahoo Finance.
Surprisingly.
Y'all still getting on Yahoo out here?
Dude, I'm telling you, that is the only thing that Yahoo is really good for, is Yahoo Finance. A ton of free information. I can literally go on Yahoo Finance and see when the CEOs or owners, big time owners of these companies sell or buy their own stock, right? So let's say, Elon Musk.
Let me make a note of
wants
that
to
too.
Yeah, you want to be looking at that, right? Because that it would be considered like insider. This is how they get away from insider trading and all of that kind of stuff. They have to wait for certain things to go, uh, press releases to go out, right? News that goes out to the public in order for them to make a move, right? So they can't make a move on I don't know if Tesla is about to purchase Facebook or something like that, right? That would never happen. But I'm just saying, Elon Musk is not going to be able to go and purchase 1 million shares of his company or 1 million shares of Facebook's company before that information comes out, right? But then there's certain things that you'll see. He might have been planning that for 5 years or so, right? And so he may not do it within 3 months of the actual purchase, but maybe he did it 4 months before, a year before. You can start to look at the activity of these people and see what is Warren Buffett, what are you buying, what are you selling within his own company. And if you see him buy back 1 million shares of his own company, start to let me Google around and see what's going on. Who are these people talking to? Because if they're buying more of their stock, I might want to buy more of their stock too, because they want their valuation as an individual to go up, right? There's
could be a smoke screen, but that's why you go check again, I guess, right?
Could be a smoke screen.
1,000%.
I don't know.
1,000%. Right? So, because if Mark Zuckerberg goes and sells off 1 million shares, I don't know if he just needed some money or what, because he only takes in like a dollar salary, right? His salary is $1. That's just something that some of the big tech companies do or whatever. The CEO just makes $1 in salary. It's for tax purposes and all that, blah blah blah. But if he buys back, if he sells off some joints, it's like, does he need the money or something because he's about to go buy another house, or is he selling off joints because he knows something about to happen and their stock is going to tank, right? Information could follow.
Who else you go to?
Later,
so you do Yahoo? Do you do Reddit?
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, Reddit. So definitely the Wall Street bets. I take a look at that. I've been looking at that for a minute beyond the last couple of months. But if you just search for a stock that's out there, or a company that's out there, and you'll see they all have, a lot of them have their own subreddits as well. And so you can get information from
I just
there.
don't be knowing who to
Um,
choose, dog. Like, I mean, it's cool, like with Robinhood, you go on there, you can hit that little top 100 or whatever. But I want to pick something off brand that I just had that feeling. Like, look, I got $2. Who gonna get this? Who gonna get this money? You know what I'm saying?
Trading Trading View. TradingView.com is another good one, because then there you can actually sort a bunch of the different stocks by the price, right? So you want to find the absolute lowest price joints on the stock market. You can find them just by sorting the different tables that they have on there, and then you can do it by how much they've gained, how much they cost, how many people are trading it, all that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't
Is Trading
advise you
View
to
a
go
part
and
of
do
TD?
that. No, I
Is
don't think
Trading View
so.
a part of TD? Oh.
I don't think so. I could be
Or
wrong, but
maybe
I don't. I
Thinkorswim
don't
is.
think so.
Maybe Thinkorswim
Thinkorswim
is.
is. Thinkorswim
Okay, yeah,
definitely is.
Thinkorswim. Okay, yeah.
I would. I mean, right now, if you're starting out, I would not say go and try to be this technical analysis person. Don't go do that. Like, that's not your game. That's
Hell no.
not
I'll
your
be sitting
game.
there
Your
looking at that all
game
day. I'm
is
gonna just,
being
I'm gonna just shoot you a text like,
yeah. Your
CJ, what you got for
game
me today?
yeah. Your game is being it has been being a consumer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so embrace that. What do you buy? What do you like? What do you do in every day? Do you go to Starbucks every day for
No.
coffee or something? You know what I mean? Go
Homemade
look
pot.
at their if well, you you ain't making it yourself. So that coffee is coming
Cuisine
from
art.
somewhere. It's Folgers or
Good
something.
Folgers.
point. I'm glad you said that. It's
Keep
coming
keep
from
I keep
somewhere.
some Folgers in the house.
Do you
Best
really?
part of waking
It's
up.
Put
definitely not
Folgers
Folgers in
in
your
your
cup, my
cup.
brother.
Yeah, that joint tastes
You
burnt
really drink
regardless.
Folgers?
I listen. I'm gonna tell you about the Folgers thing. So we had an espresso machine. It's expensive nigga coffee for real. So what ended up happening is it's like $1.50 a capsule. So we was buying 40 capsules every 2 weeks. So I'm just like, it's too much. You know what I'm saying? So we went and bought a regular traditional coffee machine because I think it gives the most flavor. And I didn't really know what to get. The coffee section could be overwhelming if you don't know what to get. You know what I'm
Like
saying?
the stocks.
So I just was like, well, let me just get this Folgers. And then my wife was drinking, and she's like, you bought Folgers? So I'm like, I mean, so I started buying like the Starbucks joint, the Pete's coffee, but I'm still mixing the Folgers in there. I'm like, we gonna get through this. You know what I'm saying? You gonna have your little blend. You know what I'm saying?
So I think what Clarence James is saying is basically because it seems like you're into the coffee thing, stuff that you can research relatively easily, and have enough conviction to buy is what you're saying, right, CJ? In terms of
You,
purchasing
you
of stocks and researching things,
But
going
so
into
look,
you're more likely to
Mhm.
understand something you're already
But
associated
see,
with.
that's the thing, though. I think it's gonna take me a while to get to that mindset where I'm in the store and I'm picking up some strawberry shredded mini wheat. So I'm like, what Kellogg's hitting on? Let me check.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, them joints hitting. Get out of here. They good. Hey, the mini wheat's good for you, bro. But I'm just like,
I guess.
I think it'd take me a while to get in that mindset that I'm looking at my GoPro right now and say, what's GoPro hitting on? Or let me look at my Rode mic, like, what's Rode hitting on? Like, I think it'll take me a while to be
I think it
that
runs a
deep
lot
into it.
deeper than that. I think it runs a lot deeper than that. I think the point is like CJ was saying. I think the point is developing a level of conviction because like I went with DraftKings. When I bought DraftKings, I knew. Give me 1 second, baby. When I bought DraftKings, I knew that it was during the pandemic time. Most sports were shut down or very limited. And I knew, when the NBA comes back, when the playoffs hit, it's definitely going to go up past what it is now. And I think I bought DraftKings at $30 or so, around $30.
Woo!
And yeah, so now I didn't buy a bunch though. I was on my lead. Like who gonna get this $2 is what I was on. So I only bought a couple of shares, which I kind of regret. But I guess you gotta. I had to hop in a place where I was comfortable. And like I keep saying the word conviction because I keep hearing what I believe to be experts say, your convictions, following your convictions. And so I felt comfortable knowing that there's no way that this is going to go down when the NBA picks back up, when NFL football starts. And there's no way that this is going to go down. And so I hopped in the DraftKings. And I think what CJ is talking about is something along those lines. Am I right?
Yeah, and just to look at it the opposite way, right? People used to make fun of me. Yeah, y'all probably still might, but I had Sprint. I had Sprint forever. Like I had Sprint
I had it. It's
when
T-Mobile
Nextel.
now.
I'm getting to that. So I had Sprint when I had Nextel, and then I converted over to Sprint when they bought Nextel, right? That's how deep I go with Sprint. But their service was trash. Always has been. It's no,
better?
not anymore because T-Mobile bought them. But what I'm saying is, I would never buy because I'm looking at my own service. I'm like, probably not gonna buy Sprint stock because I don't believe in it. As a matter of fact, it's not even that I don't believe in it. It's like they need to go down. Like I'm just tired of them, but I am not about to pay these fees to go to another carrier. I'm just not. I don't want to do it. I want to keep my own number and all that kind of stuff. But then I was playing around with T-Mobile. I was playing around with Verizon, going in and out of their stocks. And it just so happened when the information started coming out about T-Mobile buying Sprint, I just so happened to be in T-Mobile. And I made some money off of that. So so looking at it from the flip side, I knew that my phone service was trash. So who am I going to bet on? I'm going to bet on their competitors. That's just that.
Okay. So real quick, so I want to get back to the apps. So I know you mentioned like 3 or 4 apps. So you use more than one.
Yeah. Some of them have better research.
I was going to say. So tell me, why would one person use multiple apps to kind of do the same thing?
Yuri, back me up on this one. But me personally, where I've kind of been at is my day-to-day trading. I will do my transactions on Robinhood because I feel like I can do them faster. Just by clicking twice. I can be in and out of a stock real quick. But I'm doing my research over on Webull because they actually generate trend lines and stuff like that I want to be taking a look at. Like they have the moving averages, and as you dive in, you'll see moving averages kind of just they're lines, and you can tell when one goes under the other, it's probably time to buy. And the flip of that. So Webull kind of just does that out of the box. It gives me the trend lines, and it also gives me some moving averages, so I know where has this stock been at. What's the average price of this thing over the last 5 days, over the last 20 days, right? Is it above or below that currently? And then that lets me know when I want to get in. So I love those trend lines, and I love on there. I can also see how many buying transactions and how many selling transactions are going on at the time. And if I see, a bunch of people selling and it's something that I love, it's like, Apple is not going anywhere, but people are selling it like crazy. You know what? This is probably the best time to get in. Everyone's selling, you should be buying. And when everyone's buying, you should be selling.
So let me add some things, and I guess like small reasons, little things as to why people have different apps. Like I started with Webull. I had a TD Ameritrade account way back. I deleted it. I just downloaded it again. But I have Webull, like you said, because it gives you that breakdown. It shows you when the transactions are being bought. It shows you how many the individual bought or people bought. But you can't trade penny stocks on Webull. And little things like that. So you may have to have other things. There are certain apps that break down options. I think Robinhood, CJ was saying, breaks down options um, uh, better than some of the other apps. Some of them charge you for your sales for different things, and like you said, also the news. Webull has a good reputation for the news that they put out, and so it's little things like that. Certain ones you can't buy penny stocks on. Certain ones don't trade other kinds of stocks. I think it was Robinhood that I had. This was some time ago though, and some people buy on Cash App. We'll use Cash App as an example. But Cash App has a very limited amount of stocks that you're able to purchase from. They have the major companies like Boeing and McDonald's and all of those, but they're not going to have Blink that I made, hundreds of dollars on. It's not available for you to purchase and sell those stocks. And so those are the reasons. Oh, one more reason is certain places don't have a place where you can readily call. If you have an issue like TD Ameritrade, you can call. Webull, you can't just pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, I have a customer service issue that I want to talk to someone about. And that can be a deterrent, especially for old school people like myself. Like, I want to be able to talk to somebody about whatever problem I'm having if something isn't happening right or if I have questions. But, Fidelity and all those, I think you can trade for free. In certain places, require a certain percentage or amount to trade. So those are, I guess, some reasons why. And like CJ said, you said Robinhood is fast for you. It's quick. He presses a couple buttons and he can make his sales and stuff. So it's a number of reasons. I'm sure it goes way deeper for individuals who are way more experienced than myself. But those are some of the surface or topical things that can be deterrents or can grab people to have. I have TD and Webull. I do not have Robinhood, but I'm going to get it.
Go ahead and get on that. But I did notice that when I was just like randomly, I think I was walking around the house and I was looking at my refrigerator. I was like, and I just started looking up names, and there were some joints on Robinhood that they say that they didn't support it on there. So I'm thinking like, damn, I thought it was everything goes, but I mean, I guess you just clarified that for me. Yeah. So now I want to get into the buy-in.
Before you leave there, Robinhood is really, really, really popular amongst everyone because they were the first ones that did the $0 trading, right? They took the price to zero and they forced all of the big boys to do the same.
So you saying Robinhood is pretty much the app that got a lot of people who wasn't hip to it.
Exactly. And then
I'm gonna add one more thing.
You got $10,000 in that joint. Do you really want to just move $10,000 just because? Probably not. People are just stuck.
And I don't know which ones, if all of them do this now at this point, but I think you can buy slices with certain apps where, like, let's say, fractions. Let's say we'll use Bitcoin as a good example. Bitcoin is trading, I think, around 50,000 right now. You can't buy one whole. Most of us can't buy one whole share of Bitcoin,
I can't buy one
certain
coin,
apps. Yeah, no, me neither. That would not be intelligent. If I did have the money, I wouldn't have enough to do that. But you can buy a piece of it on certain apps. You can say, I got $500, and you can do that on Cash App, where like I got $500. Let me buy $500 worth a share.
Why you keep saying Cash App? You telling me you can buy stocks through Cash App?
Yes,
most certainly. I had some Boeing in Cash App and stuff.
For real? They've been doing it the whole time?
No, not the whole time. It's getting more and more advanced, but they've been doing it for at least 6, 7, 8 months. Since the beginning of the pandemic, since the beginning of the lockdown time, you could definitely buy certain, but it's very limited. But it's growing regularly, like often. 6 months ago, they had less options than they do now. So, you can buy stock on Cash App, dog. Yeah.
Hey, look, at this point, they're gonna do anything to get everybody in the game, man.
Oh, Trust me. We already hooked.
Okay, so we good on that? We can move on?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So
I'm good.
I definitely want to talk about the money aspect. So Of course, you're gonna have to have a couple of dollars to throw in there, but I think it's the more so knowing when to hold and knowing when to fold. You know what I'm saying? So
Good question.
I give you my example, and then y'all can just kind of give me your thoughts on this. So, um, I had bought one of the cannabis joints, the Sundial. You know what I'm saying? And it was a top 100 thing on Robinhood, but when I bought it, it was like a dollar, like 50. So I was like, okay, let me get 5 of these. I jumped out there. That was my biggest purchase in stock history right there. 5 joints. So that put me up to like $6 or $7 or something. You know what I mean? So I bought the joint and I wasn't paying no attention to it. I was like, all right, I've been looking at this all day. I'm done. And then my man hit me. He was like, bro, you got to get on the Sundial. So I was like, oh, let me look at it. Then I was like, oh, I already got it. That joint was up like 85%. So I'm like, okay. So now I'm sitting here like, dog, how much can I get right now? So I go look at it, and the joint was like, oh, you can walk away with like $19. I'm about to fling the damn phone across the room because I didn't really put no cheese on it. So now I was just like, all right. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm kind of pissed. So my stupid behind, I go and buy one more stock when it was at like $4.80, which really made no sense. So now I'm just like, all right, well, it's gonna be up for a while. So let me just let it go. The next day, the joint went back down to like $2 and something. So I'm like, oh man. So I cashed out. I walked away with like $9. So now I'm pissed because I could have had $20, could have got me some lunch or something. You know what I mean? So I just think that, knowing when to kind of get out. But then I was told that you can set the little limit to if it drops below a certain amount, you can get out. If I would have known that, if I'd have saw that and it's at $4.75, I'd have been like, all right, if this joint get below $4, sell it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's something that if you don't know that, now you know. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, maybe y'all give me some more insight on that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, man. That's the FOMO, right? What you had was FOMO, fear of missing out. He was like, "Oh man, it's up high. Let me get
Glad
another
you
one.
cleared
You
that
know, it's
up
gonna
quick.
go up higher." It's like you probably shouldn't do that.
No,
So
no, no, no. That's not that. I didn't know. I didn't know.
I
If
know.
I would have known that joint was at $4.79, I would have said, if this joint go past $4.75, cash me out right then and there. I don't care if it went to $10 after that. When it get to
You still would have flunked. I was
4.75,
about to say.
you know what I'm saying? That's how I would have did it. I didn't realize it. So wake up in the morning like do probably at $5 or $6. That joint said like 285. I was like, oh man, that sucks.
I, so there's a couple things, right? There's no one definitive answer to that question, but the way I look at it is I gauge, what does the stock market as a whole normally do, and within a year, and that is 7 to 10%, right? So if you have a 401k, your 401k should be growing at 7 to 10% on average every year, right? That's just the numbers. That's the way that it typically grows every year. So if you have stock that is, has gained you 10%, dude, that's a great day. You had one that was at 85%. That is a freaking phenomenal day.
All caps though.
Sell it. That's the way I look at it, right? Is because if you can beat what the stock market typically does in a year, in a day or two or whatever, man, get out and reset and do something else.
So okay, so my thing is, so say I sold the stock, I made me a little 20 piece. You know what I'm saying? And now I just got this $20. And it's just like, now what? Now I gotta go find something else. What if it go back down? You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, well, do I put my money back in there or do I just leave that alone and go somewhere else? You know what I'm saying? It's coming from a newbie, I kind of feel like it's not that much to choose from. You know what I'm saying? Until once I get into deeper in my research. So is that a mistake? Like, oh, let me take my money out a month later, it's back low again, and let me put some more money back in it.
That depends on the company. So let's take GameStop for instance, right? GameStop went up to $300-400, right? That joint went all the way up there. And if somebody's thinking the way that you just said, and they would be, they would get out, and then they get ready to get right back in. It's like, nah, that was an anomaly, right? That's not normal
Okay.
for that company. So when you start to think about, do I do it again? You need to look at the company, look at their stock. If you want to take a look at them for over the last year, what have they been doing? Has it the trend line, is it going up and down consistently? Then yeah, catch the wave, rinse and repeat. When that thing gets all the way up, you earn 10% or whatever your number is, right? It might be. I definitely don't just stick to the 10% number. There's definitely times I let it ride a little bit higher. But best believe I'm
How
on
do
the
you
trigger.
decide? How do you decide when you let it go up to like Lee hit 85%? How do you make the decision like I'm gonna push it all the way to 100%? Or is it like, how do you know when you're gonna cash out for now and possibly rinse and repeat?
Mm-hmm.
That's where that Webull information comes in, where I can see the buyers and sellers. Like, all right, well, if it's more and more green and more and more green, more and more green, man, let it go, let it go. But I'm looking at it. I'm at 85%. I'm looking at this thing hardcore, because if it went up 85% in one day, it can damn sure go down 85% in one day as well. You know what I mean? So regardless of what it is. Um, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at that the buys and the sells. And as long as those buys, when they start slowing up, I'm done. I'm good. I'm gonna
Okay.
take my money, and then if this is a joint that I know that does do that, I know that it's gonna go down eventually. That may take a week. It may take longer than that. But when it does, like, this is a good price. I'm gonna go in. And to your point of, when there's a thing called a trailing stop loss, and this gets into what you were talking about. Well, if I don't want to lose money or something like that, or if I go up this high, then I want to sell with the profit and stuff like that. So 85%, let's use that one on Sundial. What you can do is you can set a trailing stop loss, and that allows you to set a percentage drop from the highest point that it gets to. So you rolled this thing all the way up 85%. And if you would have set a trailing stop loss at 5%, if it dropped down to just 80% profit for you, it would automatically trigger a sell. You wouldn't have to be involved at all. And so you took 80% instead of 85%. Does that make sense?
A little bit. A little bit. All right.
So
Mm-hmm.
just think about it. It's this thing is monitoring how high this stock goes up, and whatever the height, whatever that peak is, if it ever drops 5% from that peak, it sells right away. So, like, you went up 85, if it dropped 5%, if it dropped down to drop down 5, and you're only at 80%, it just sells it right away.
Let me ask you this real quick. For your loss on the opposite end, where do you typically set your loss, your stop loss at?
Like 5 to 10%. Like, just a stock that I'm just normally getting into. 5 to 10%.
Is that a conservative place, or is that the usual, or is that kind of like I'm a risk it all type of brother? What are the levels, if that makes sense? So
I'm
like,
never I'm never a risk at all kind of brother at all. Um, so I'm not putting in 100% of my buying power into one stock. I'm not doing that at all, right? Because
no,
you could
not like
always be
that.
wrong.
Not like that. So like,
Um,
let's say you typically put in your boy that you put me on to, I think he said he buys 125 shares of pretty much
yes,
anything that he buys, right?
yes.
So um what would be the levels in terms of percentage? You said 5 to 10% is what you do. Are are you on the conservative end? Are you on the mid level, or are you more of a risky person? So if 5 to 10%, let's say 5 to 10% was the conservative, like I don't risk much. Lee is clearly conservative, right? is 5 to
Very.
10% where at least should be. And if I'm like, sometimes I like to roll the dice. Sometimes I like to go all in, and sometimes I'm a little more conservative. And so if I'm a moderate individual, would I be 10 to 15%, or that's not how it works? Pretty much the safe thing to do, or the intelligent person does a 5 to 10% thing for most of theirs, or is it like it depends on the stock?
Yeah,
Or
I,
actually
I
to
think
it.
I should be on par with just about everybody with that 5 to 10%. Um, if you're dropping 20%, you made the wrong decision getting into whatever stock you're getting into. Dropping 20% is like, what are you doing? And then why the hell did you let it go that far? Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah, you shouldn't be doing
Okay, so
Nobody
I
should
got
lose
a
20%.
question. So now like I said, I got like 4 or 5 stocks. And my joints ain't really hitting or nothing. But there's a couple of them that's that's in the minus, maybe like 4 or 5% or something like that. Should I be okay? So should a person, if I buy this stock for $5, as soon as I get that stock, should I be setting the parameters for it to sell if it drops below a certain percentage, or should I just be letting it go for a little bit?
No, set it right away. Set it right away. Unless you're the type of person that's going to be looking at it, every 5 minutes or so, right? Set
And if
set
it's
it right away.
volatile, it like you said, if the like what was the cannabis stock that you said you bought, like CJ said, if
Sundown.
it can go up 85%, sundial, if it can go up 85% in a day, then it can drop that fast. So I strongly recommend that you set it, because you definitely don't want to lose. Well, if you're doing $5, you might be cool. I don't know. But if you start to do like the guy recommended, he does 125 of whatever he buys, 125 shares. You know, I
He's
don't
Yeah.
care if
doing
it's
that to
$1.
cover his options. He's doing that to cover his options. That's why
Okay.
he's doing that 100 to 125.
Okay.
So so he already has them, and now he can go and get the options on it. But he already owns 100 of the shares, right? So he's not having to do it on the back end. He's doing it on the front end. So he covers
Mm,
himself. So basically,
Uh,
if he loses, he only lose on one side. But if he wins on both sides.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So
That's
let's
why
move.
he's
So
doing
let's
that.
move along. That's some good stuff there. Y'all doing real good.
fact.
100%. 10 points. So let's talk about the quick money and the long money. You know what I'm saying? I know it. This is just me outside looking in. It seems like for all the folks who just getting into the game, they looking at the quick money. They looking at these this cryptocurrency, the cannabis thing starting to smash off, and everybody wants the quick money. Like, how do you distinguish the quick and the long money?
Bruh. If anybody knew the exact answer to that, you know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Like with the sundial and the other cannabis stocks, no one expected those to go up the way that they did. We did definitely because the current presidency, the administration, that is something that they're looking to do. So that caused a bit of an uproar. But again, we talked a lot about technical analysis. But remember now we got retail traders or those that are individuals like ourselves that are just individuals just trading a couple dollars here and there, and there are millions of us, right? And so we make up a good portion of the pot. So what I'm getting at is now we're talking about sentiment. Now we're talking about behavioral analysis and getting in the hearts and minds of other people like us, right? That is a big portion of the research that you should be doing. So I use things like stock twits. It's like a Twitter version for each stock. It's kind of cool, but you can see what people are saying about it in real time. You can use Twitter, see what people are saying about those different companies. That's definitely something that you want to be looking at, and that's probably really helpful for the short term. Long term stuff, you buy companies that you believe in, man. Like I thought about Tesla. Like the batteries is going to be it. Solar energy, this is going to be it. And here we are today. the
I could
administrations.
jump in, man. I was just looking at. I just started following this podcast. Apparently, I'm late. They call themselves "Earn Your Leisure." Two guys. They were on the Breakfast Club, and they were talking. They were talking some pretty. They were talking about guys who solely depend upon working a bunch of jobs, not having no money, shit like that. And they also had a snippet where they had Mark Cuban on the joint, and he was talk. They were asking him like, what does he invest his money in? And he was like, he only invests his money with stuff that's AI related.
Exactly.
He said if it ain't artificial intelligence, he said he don't put his money in it. So I was just like, I think it's cool to really look into the minds of the folks who've been doing this for a while to really see what they're putting their money into. I mean, at this point, I'm not even shocked anymore when I see how much money people put into one stock or one company. But I mean, I definitely think this is something that I'm pissed at myself that it's something that I didn't know at an early age because I would have been throwing a couple of dollars in this. You know what I'm saying? A lot of wasted money growing up. You know what I mean? A lot of wasted money.
Yeah. I mean,
A
the thing
lot of
is,
wasted bread, man. That we just would have had this knowledge, man. You
yeah,
know,
just take it like, you know what? You got kids. I got kids. You got kids. These are assets. These are assets. So, whenever, we hit 200 and it's our time to go, these things will still stay
My
here and
man,
we can
good look
pass
on
those
that
over to
200.
our,
shit, too.
you know what I
I'm
mean?
with that.
We can pass these on to our kids and our grandkids. You know what I'm saying? That's how you eventually create, trust fund babies. One thing that I absolutely think about all the time is this guy that I follow. He's actually a coach of mine. He had this joint. He was like, "Yo, what would you do if you won the Powerball? Right? Like, what would you do if you had $10 million tomorrow? What would you do?" And typically, people were like, "Yo, I'm gonna go buy a car and blah blah blah, or buy a house or whatever." Right?
Pay it off
This
first.
dude, this dude was like, "You know what? I could do with $10 million. I could throw all of it in the stock market. I could throw all of it in the stock market." It's like, what? What are you talking about? Why would you do that? You throw the 10 in dividend paying stocks. So you can get a paycheck like a joint that I'm in. Main Capital is one. It pays you a high dividend. Apple pays you a dividend. AT&T pays you a dividend. What that means is they pay you money to own the stock, right? So what he's saying is, and it usually goes against the 7 to 10% that I talked about earlier. That's how much money you will get out of this. So he's like, yo, so I just go into all of those stocks with all the $10 million, and every year I'm generating about $1 million of income. So it's like, huh. So instead of taking the whole 10, you take one every every year. And so you just
I
create
might have to keep a meal. I'm just saying.
then
Well,
then
you still
then
gonna
you talk
then you'll
you're gonna
make
have
nine
900.
hundred thousand a year. Yeah,
I mean,
that's
Man,
that's cool. That's
it's up to you. But by that time, you have
couple of
freed up
things I
so
need to
much
get. You know what I
time.
mean?
You know what I mean? Like you bring it
I
in
feel
now, factor in taxes, right? Factor in taxes. You're gonna have to pay taxes on that income, but just think about that thought process. Just go through that thought process of some of these trust fund babies. They're handed stocks valued at $10 million or more, and that's what's generating them millions in income a year. You know what I mean? So it's like, mm, what else could you do with your
Put me
time
in the game,
if you
coach. Tell
you you
coach
You
I
tell
need
her.
his number.
you see what I'm saying? Like that's the way I kind of think about things. Is you can do some stuff with this.
That's good, man. That's
Absolutely.
so much good information, man. Look, I think we covered a lot, man. Just for whoever don't know, you at least you know something. Shit, I know something, man. I mean, what you guys got planned for the future, man? What y'all got planned for 2021? We're gonna wrap it up in a minute. Yuri,
I'm gonna let Clarence. Okay, okay. So once I finish this options class, I'm hopping in and Options and the little stocks here and there will be my main focus, swing trading, a little. But I'll try to. I'm gonna give the options thing a full go for the remainder of 2021. And if it works for me, then I can't stop, won't stop. Take that, take that. But that's it. As far as trading goes, or as far as the stock market goes, I'm gonna be all in on. I'm gonna try to master this if I can.
Okay, CJ.
I mean, I'll keep it all the way with you, man. The stock market is definitely it's definitely a moneymaker, right? But the thing is unless you have the term "it takes money to make money" comes from the stock market. If I had $1 million to play with in this joint, we good. I can make some serious dough off of this. But me personally, I've been doing this for 10 plus years. I made a good amount of money. So what I do is I move, some of that money out, and I invest I recently invested into a business where I can generate 60% in a year. And that's just based on my work ethic, right? Like I can do that. Stocks, you can do research and you can do everything that you need to do, but you can still lose money because you're not 100% in control. That's the only thing, So it's not that I'm ever going to get out of it. It's just I want to go and generate another level of cash so that I can bring that $10 million back over here, so I can sit on my ass making $1 million a year that we talked about earlier. So that's kind of what I do right now. Is I'm definitely staying in the game. I'm not going to just remove all of my positions, but I am taking funds, and I have taken funds out to invest in businesses so that I can grow that and then throw that money back into the stock market and
Rinse and repeat, baby.
Rinse and repeat. That is just it, man.
Okay, okay. Well, I mean, I think for me, man, just continue to just learn more as I can go, man. Because I mean, my ultimate goal is to just be able to get up, man. I mean, if I'm still working a regular job, that's fine. But I definitely, the name of the game now is, man, is where's that other source of income coming from? And it's like, it's cool to have the other source of income, but the really ultimate goal is to have that, and you're not like killing yourself to have
Facts.
extra income. Not like me, like I'll be home. You know what I'm saying? I've been working from home since the pandemic, but it's like, oh, I'm gonna work overtime, but I'm still in the house, but I'm up for 16 hours. Like, nah, I just want to make some extra money, and I'm still just working a little 8 hours, and I did whatever I needed to do to get that extra money. That's really my ultimate goal. So I don't know if this is it,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna keep looking into it, man. I encourage anybody who don't know shit about the stock, or who do know about it, tell somebody who know about it, man. Again, this is a conversation that we don't have enough of. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely don't.
We go out here and we buy bottles, we buy tables, and we buy these chargers. You know what I'm saying? We go spend money on these clothes, these Balenciagas. You know what I'm saying? But then when somebody say, let's throw a couple dollars in the stock, you know what I'm saying? Like
Feet
we
get
you,
real
you
cold.
speaking Swahili or something. It's like we need to learn about this. Like when it's my time to check out, I'm trying to make sure my family and my family's family good.
Yeah. Yes,
I don't
sir.
I don't I don't I don't I don't want my son or my daughter to slave and work like we did. You know what I'm saying? They're
Yeah.
gonna work, but I honestly I don't expect him to ever know what it feels like to go through what we went through. I want them to have the morals, but if they don't have to go through it, no, they don't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Real
I mean,
quick. First of all, we need to learn Swahili literally and figuratively, like you used it in the stocks. But Dad just said quickly, I forgot, man. That sucks. That sucks when that
Look, you
happens.
can put you can
you
you,
got
you can put it in the comments on YouTube, all right?
All
here's my
right.
thing. I don't want this is a time of hype, right? This is a time of hype. And I
It's
just
trending
don't
right
want
now.
the yeah, I just don't let it
Oh,
die.
that was it.
Don't let it die out, man. This happens every 2 to 3 years. Something just happens, and then everybody gets infatuated with the stock market or Bitcoin or something like that, right? And then it just dies off. So my thing is get in there and just stay in there because think about it like Apple. Apple is one of those stocks where it started out at nothing. It started out at nothing. But if you would have held that thing if our parents would have bought into it and held it, up until now, man, millionaires. That's what we be. That's what we be
I
right
agree.
now.
I definitely agree with the trend thing, man. I feel like this whole stock market thing is potentially, just like these challenges out here. You know what I'm saying? Somebody the June bugging or silhouetting or bussing it. You know what I'm saying? Now we stocking it, and next we're gonna move on to something else. I mean, what was people doing before this? These what's them little games, gambling games, and all this other crap, the pyramid schemes and RCN cable. we always in something, man. But it's like we don't want to get in something that been going on before we was born. And this ain't everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everything I'm saying, this is my opinion. This is just me watching. You know what I'm saying?
That's a reality.
We be so quick to go out here and do something to make us look stupid. But we don't be wanting to have these conversations about something that can put us over the top. You know what I'm saying? Or put somebody your family over the top once you're gone.
Makes people a little uncomfortable, especially if we don't already know much on the topic. It
Hell
kind of
yeah!
sheds
Look,
light
if you
on our
don't know,
level
look,
of
if you don't
ignorance.
know, it's the internet. It's 2021. The technology, the information is there. You can learn how to build a damn rocket off of YouTube. I mean, you can learn about the
Facts.
stocks, dog.
So real quick, I want to say this to you, Lee. Increase your scrote size a little bit, man, and put some skin in the game, big dog. Don't stop doing $2 a share, man.
Look, man,
Put some money in, man.
It's gonna come, man. But it's like it's more comfortable. I'm surprised I bought this many stock that I bought. You know what I'm saying? I think I probably invested like all right. So total, I've invested like $100 total.
Oh, okay.
So this is over like a bunch of different stocks. It's like $100. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that was in like a week. So I felt like I jumped out there.
You did a little something. Yeah, you jumped out there.
Yeah. I just was buying, the joints was going up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And this is a bad week, just to let you know.
I can tell.
And right now, like across the board, things are just not doing as well as they.
My blink and it's dumb low.
Yeah. Last week was bananas, and the week before that was crazy too. So this is definitely one of those a cool off period. Right, it's one of the waves that we were talking about. What goes up, must come down. This is one of those weeks where things are coming down, and you could, and usually when the stock market is down, Bitcoin is up, and you look at it, it's at its all-time highs right now, $52,000, right? So it's pretty consistent. But don't be weary, man. You didn't make any bad choices or anything like that. Right now, it's just a bad week.
I'm definitely gonna get off here and
sir.
set them limits though. But look, man, we're gonna wrap it up, man. I definitely thank y'all, man. My two good men. For those who don't know, I was in the service with these two fools, man. Clarence James was in my recruiting station out Rockville. Yuri, apparently people was walking around thinking I was him. And MCT, we came by each other. I was like, I think I might have to take this nigga out or something. I don't know. It can't be saying I look like somebody. But man, I was glad I could have this conversation with y'all, man. I think this definitely be something good for the people, man. Good for anyone listening or watching. Captain's Law Podcast, Stock Market, featuring Yuri Simmons and Clarence James Carter. All right, Captain out.
Yes, sir.